The 2000s were supposed to be Hollywood's clean break into a new era, a decade of blockbusters, rising stars, and the birth of reality TV. But behind the red carpets and premieres, something darker was happening. Young actors were burning out. Studios abandoned their troubled stars. Music labels pushed performers past their limits. And in some cases, the industry's failures turned fatal. These aren't the scandals you saw on every magazine cover. These are the forgotten stories, the ones Hollywood never properly answered for. This is Top 10 Forgotten Hollywood Scandals, the 2000s edition. Let's begin. 10. Jeremy Jackson, the Baywatch star. Hollywood pretended didn't exist. In the 90s, Jeremy Jackson was the breakout kid from Baywatch, a young star with a bright future. But the 2000s hit him like a runaway freight train. Addiction, arrests, dangerous behavior, reality TV meltdowns. Hollywood watched the spiral in real time and did absolutely nothing. Jackson later revealed he was hooked on drugs at 16, enabled by adults who looked the other way as long as the show stayed on top. When the scandals grew too loud, he wasn't offered help, he was quietly erased. Jackson's downfall exposed a truth Hollywood didn't want to face. Male child stars were just as unprotected as their female counterparts. And the system failed them too. 9. Edward Furlong. The 90s icon Hollywood quietly gave up on. After Terminator 2, Edward Furlong was supposed to be the next big thing. But by the early 2000s, his life had become a chaotic blur of court appearances, restraining orders, substance issues, and lost roles. The real scandal? Hollywood didn't drop him publicly. They dropped him quietly. By 2003, studios considered him uninsurable, a label that kills a career instantly and silently. No announcement, no explanation, no way back. Furlong's fall exposed Hollywood's insurance blacklist, a hidden system that can end careers overnight with no public accountability. 8. Thora Birch, the actress who lost her momentum overnight. Thora Birch earned critical acclaim in Ghost World and American Beauty. She was on the verge of A-list status. Then, the momentum vanished. Why? Because her father, who also acted as her manager, clashed with directors and producers so aggressively that studios simply stopped hiring her. A promising career, derailed not by scandal, but by the politics and paranoia of Hollywood gatekeepers. Her story showed how the wrong manager, even a parent, could permanently sabotage an actor's future. 7. Orlando Brown, the Disney star the industry couldn't save. Orlando Brown was a fan favorite on That's So Raven, but, off-camera, the 2000s were a downward spiral. Legal trouble, erratic interviews, addiction, and mental health breakdowns caught on video. The world mocked him, but no one asked why he had no support. Disney didn't step in. Publicists disappeared. The industry shrugged. Brown's collapse highlighted how little Hollywood understood or cared about mental health in the early 2000s, especially for young male stars. 6. Shannon Wilsey, Savannah, a tragedy re-exposed in the 2000s. Shannon Wilsey died in 1994, but her story resurfaced in the 2000s as documentaries and investigations revealed the depth of her exploitation. She had been pushed, marketed, and manipulated until she broke. A cycle too many young women faced in the 90s and 2000s. The industry tried to move on, but her story refused to stay buried. Her resurfaced case forced new conversations about predatory figures, unsafe sets, and the dark crossover between adult entertainment and mainstream Hollywood. 5. Maya Campbell, the sitcom star who lost everything in the 2000s. In the 90s, Maya Campbell starred on the sitcom In the House, charming audiences with her warmth and talent. But behind the scenes, she was battling bipolar disorder and addiction. When she stopped taking her medication in the 2000s, everything unraveled. Viral street videos showed her struggling, and instead of compassion, she became clickbait. Campbell's story raised new questions about exploitation in the digital age. When does public concern cross into public cruelty? 4. Lala Brown, a rising star murdered before her breakout. Lala Brown had a breakout moment on Life Jennings's hit SEX. She was about to launch her own career until she and her boyfriend were murdered in 2007. The case received little coverage compared to other celebrity tragedies. Fans demanded answers. Hollywood shrugged. Her death reignited concerns about the vulnerability of rising artists during one of the most violent periods in music industry history. 3. Quinn, from hit shows to a heartbreaking end. Quinn was beloved on Roseanne and Angel, but underneath the charm, he battled a long, private struggle with addiction. By 2002, the fight was over. Quinn died at 32, his death overshadowed by bigger celebrity headlines. Studios and networks said little. Co-stars grieved privately. Fans hardly knew what happened. Quinn's story exposed how Hollywood often fails international actors with limited support systems, and how easily a beloved performer can disappear from the narrative. 2. Lisa Left Eye Lopes, the icon who deserved a better ending. Left Eye was fearless, creative, outspoken, and wildly talented. But in the final years of her life, she faced enormous pressure, financial battles, label tension, and intense public scrutiny. She traveled to Honduras seeking peace. Instead, she died in a tragic car accident in 2002. The world mourned, but few understood how turbulent her final years had truly been. Her story forced the music industry to confront its pattern of overworking female artists and failing to protect them emotionally and physically. 1. Aaliyah, the tragedy that changed everything. Aaliyah was just 22 when she died in a plane crash in 2001. But this wasn't a random accident. Investigations revealed horrifying negligence, an overloaded plane, unqualified pilots, production schedules pushed to the extreme. The industry wanted another hit video, and safety was an afterthought. Aaliyah's death forever altered celebrity travel standards, forcing labels and production companies to overhaul their safety requirements. A brilliant life lost, but one that forced Hollywood to change. The 2000s were a turning point, the decade when fame collided with a digital world that wasn't ready for the consequences. Some stars were abandoned, some were exploited, some were lost too soon. But their stories shaped Hollywood more than anyone realizes. If you want to continue the series, check out our 1990s edition and 1970s edition. Because the further back you go, the darker the secrets get. Thanks for watching.